He stood in the quietest corner of the shopping mall. Nobody talked to him and he talked to nobody. He just watched, took notes, and went home when his shift ended. Until that night when 3 burglars broke into the security office. Welcome to People's Journal Stories. Before we begin this powerful story of silence, skill, and forgotten legend, tell me in the comments which city you're watching from today. And if you believe stories like this need to be remembered, hit that subscribe button and help us make sure they are. The Westfield Shopping Center closed its doors at 10 p.m., but security never ended. Long corridors, dark corners, and millions of dollars worth of merchandise needed protection every night. 3 security guards worked in shifts: the day team, the afternoon team, and the night team. The night team leader was James "Jim" Morrison. He was 58 years old, medium height, with a calm face. He'd been doing the same job for 10 years, and during that time, no serious incidents had occurred. Jim's routine was always the same. He would come to work at 10 p.m., do his first round at 10:30, walk through all floors every 2 hours throughout the night, and hand over his shift at 6 a.m. He wasn't a talkative person. Other employees called him Jim, but they weren't particularly close. He only made necessary conversations, didn't laugh, didn't joke around, and never talked about his private life. The young security guards had developed various theories about him. Some said he was an old veteran, others said he was just a boring guy. But they all agreed on one thing. Jim Morrison was predictable, reliable, and extremely quiet. He did his job and went home. That was it. That Thursday night, everything started normally. Jim had come to work at 10 o'clock as usual. During his first round, everything was in its place. Stores were locked, alarm systems active, cameras working. It was going to be a normal night. When he returned to the security office, he sat in front of the monitors and began his routine observation work. He watched silently, just like he always did. At 1:30 a.m., he went out for his second round. His footsteps echoed in the corridors. He illuminated dark corners with his flashlight, checking every store door. First floor, second floor, third floor. Everything was normal, but when he went down to the basement level, he felt something was different. There were marks on one of the door locks. It wasn't very obvious, but his experienced eyes had noticed. Someone had tried to force this door. He immediately reached for his radio, but at that moment, a voice from behind froze him. "Drop the radio, old man." Jim slowly turned around. 3 people stood facing him. They were young, athletic-looking, and their eyes were determined. Professional burglars, very experienced at this job. They had various tools in their hands and no doubt in their eyes. They thought they could easily overpower this security guard. "Take it easy, Pops. We don't want to hurt anyone," said the tallest one among them. "You just do your thing, we do ours. No trouble." Jim didn't make a sound. He just studied them. His eyes were calm, his posture relaxed, as if he'd experienced this situation before. "Where are the keys to the security office?" asked another one. Jim didn't answer. "Talk, old man, or things might get ugly," threatened the third burglar. But Jim was still silent. He was just examining them, their movements, their positions, their weak points. The burglars were starting to get impatient. The tallest one approached Jim and grabbed his shoulder. "Last time I'm asking, where are the keys?" That's when everything changed. Jim's hand moved very quickly. Twisting the burglar's arm, breaking his balance, and dropping him to the ground took only 2 seconds. Since the other 2 were caught off guard, Jim had the opportunity to move on to the second one. An elbow strike, a leg sweep, and the second one was also on the ground. Before the third burglar could understand what happened, he found himself pressed against the wall with his arms locked behind him. Everything had happened in 15 seconds. "Who the hell are you?" asked one of the burglars on the ground, fear and shock in his voice. Jim was still silent. He just took his radio and called the police. "Westfield Security calling. We have a break-in attempt. 3 suspects detained, requesting police backup." The burglars looked at each other. How had this ordinary security guard managed to take down all 3 of them so easily? The police team arrived 10 minutes later. Jim reported everything. Simple, short, clear. Without exaggerating, without bragging. He just told what happened. The police officer couldn't hide his amazement. "How did you take down all three by yourself?" "Got lucky, I guess," Jim said. "Unprepared people are easy to handle." But one of the burglars couldn't stay quiet. "This guy ain't normal. No regular security guard moves like that. He's got professional military training." The police officer looked at Jim. "Did you serve in the military?" Jim hesitated. Then in a very low voice, he said, "Yes." "Which branch?" "Special Forces." At that moment, the atmosphere changed. Both the burglars and the police began looking at Jim with different eyes. "How long did you serve?" asked the police officer. 20 years. "Which operations?" Jim remained silent. Then he just said, "Can't say." The next day, everything had changed at the shopping center. The news had spread. The quiet security guard Jim was actually a warrior who had served in Special Forces for 20 years and participated in countless operations. Store employees began treating him differently, more respectfully, more carefully. Young security guards started asking him questions, but Jim was still the same Jim. He spoke little, did his job, and watched silently. Only now everyone knew. This quiet man wasn't ordinary. For 10 years, among them was a hero who had lived through the most dangerous moments, faced death, and taken countless risks for his country. And nobody knew it. The shopping center manager wanted to have a private meeting with Jim. "Jim, why did you keep your background hidden for so long?" Jim shrugged. "The past should stay in the past. I'm a security guard now. This is my job." "But you're a hero. People should know." "Being a hero isn't something to brag about. It's something you do when duty calls. I did my duty then. I'm doing it now." The manager was impressed. "What if we want to improve your working conditions?" "No need. I love my job. Everything's fine." Days passed. Jim still maintained the same routine, but he wasn't alone anymore. Young employees showed him more respect. The news had spread among customers too. Some came specifically to thank him. One day, a small child had come shopping with his mother. When the child saw Jim, he asked his mother, "Mom, is that man a hero?" The mother embarrassedly said, "Shh, you can't ask things like that." But Jim approached the child and knelt down to eye level. "Being a hero is a big word," he said in a soft voice, "but we can all protect each other. When you grow up, you can protect people around you too." The child asked with sparkling eyes, "How?" "By doing what's right, by being a good person, by helping others." When the mother took the child and left, Jim quietly returned to his place. That night, during shift change, young security guard Mike asked him, "Jim, do you ever regret anything?" Jim thought. Every person has regrets, but the biggest regret would be not doing what's right. "Did you always do the right thing?" "I tried my best. I'm not perfect, but I always tried to do what's right." "Was staying silent all these years the right thing?" Jim smiled. "Sometimes silence is the right thing too. Not everyone needs to know everything. What matters is being there when you're needed." This continued for weeks. Jim was still the same Jim, but now everyone knew. This quiet man had an extraordinary past. A month later, a small ceremony was organized at the shopping center. Jim would be given a thank you plaque, but he didn't come that day. The manager called him at home with concern. "Jim, we have a ceremony to honor you. Where are you?" "The ceremony isn't for me," Jim said. "I just did my job. There are many people who deserve thanks for what they've done for this country. I'm just one of them. But people want to see you, to thank you. They don't need to thank me. Knowing they're safe is enough." The ceremony was held without Jim, but the plaque given to him remained hanging in the security office. It read, "To a hero who serves in silence." The next day when Jim came to work, he saw the plaque. He looked at it for a long time. Then he went up to the office to talk to the manager. "This plaque is nice, but I don't deserve it. If you're going to do something like this, do it for all security guards. We're a team." The manager was surprised. "But you're different. Your background." "My background doesn't make me special. What makes us special is the work we do today. And I love this job. I do it with pride. From that day on, special plaques were prepared for all security guards at the shopping center. At Jim's suggestion, they read, "Thank you for your service." Jim was still the quiet security guard. He still maintained the same routine. But now people knew. Sometimes the greatest heroes are the quietest ones. Those who don't brag, don't tell stories, just do their duty. And after that night, there were no more burglary attempts at Westfield Shopping Center, because everyone knew there wasn't just an ordinary security guard there, but a silent hero who had fought countless battles in his past, but was now only tasked with protecting everyone. Jim Morrison never changed. He still came to work at 10 o'clock, did his rounds, and went home at 6 a.m. But now everyone knew. This quiet man wasn't ordinary. Now I ask you, have you ever met someone like Jim? Someone who seemed ordinary but had an extraordinary past? Share their names in the comments. Tell their stories. Because at People's Journal Stories, we believe that heroes who live quietly should never be forgotten. If this story moved you, subscribe and share. Help us keep these voices alive. See you in the next video. And remember, if you ever see an old man standing quietly somewhere, look carefully. You might be standing next to a hero.